Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach Collier, and this is my show about whitewater paddling, gear, rafting, and kayaking. Mainly about gear, but other whitewater topics I'm interested in. And this week I want to talk about foldable hand saws. And sort of to get that started, I want to talk about my rescue kit. And this is a bag of stuff I have that I bring with me when I go boating that has first aid, repair material and tools, and safety items. So safety items would be press sticks, pulleys, webbing, repair could be glue for a raft, or more commonly tear aid or kayak repair. And first aid is, I have my own personal list of items I like because it's what I've used before. You may have a different list. And I also carry inside my bag, this is what my bag looks like. And it's pretty big. It fits in a raft pretty well if you tie it in. But if I'm kayaking, it really doesn't fit well in the back of a kayak. It's hard to shove it. It's hard to shove it back there. So I might take some things out. If I'm just doing a roadside run with friends that know the run well, maybe I'll just bring a throw bag and leave it behind. If I'm doing something more remote, I'll bring more items. I'll put them in a smaller little kit that I'll throw in the back of the kayak. And if I'm rafting, I try to bring the whole thing because it has a lot of good stuff that you could use. And one of my favorite items is this foldable hand saw. And this saw is made by Silky. It's about an 8-inch blade. It folds out nicely. This thing closes. Here's another one. This is one that I've had for a little while. This one's also made in Japan. It's a little more gimmicky, a little more difficult to use, harder to open and close. But they're both about 7 or 8 inches in saw length, which can actually cut through an 8-inch log with about 15 or 20 minutes of work. But I more commonly use it for things like this, maybe a little bit bigger that I encounter. And the most common use is actually on the way to put it in. This bag is with me in my truck, whether I'm going to bring it or not on the river. And if we're driving to a river that's rarely done, where a tree might have fallen, having this with you can make the difference between paddling that day and turning around and just missing a day on the river. So it's just good to have on the way to put in a takeout. I also bring it on the river with me a lot. I've only used it once, and that was on the North Fork of the Oahe, where we saw a log downstream, a bunch of branches that wasn't really a danger. We weren't going to wrap on it or go underneath it, but it definitely blocked our progress. So we kind of floated our raft into it. We couldn't really portage because there was too much brush on both sides of the river. And we floated into it, kind of were up next to it, pulled out the saw, cut off some key branches, spent about 10 minutes kind of cleaning things up so we could basically get the raft underneath that log and keep going. So that's an actual scenario where I used it. This could be used if you have a friend who's pinned in a log, whether in a kayak or a swimmer. You could theoretically have it to cut that log out of the way and free them. I think that's a little problematic because, when somebody's in a log, getting them out quickly is important. Sometimes they're stable, but time is of the essence. And if you're depending on, walking up to your boat, opening the bag, getting the saw, going down the log, and then cutting it as your primary way of getting them undone, that may not be enough time to save them. And if it is, cool, you have this. The other thing is also logs that are waterlogged or underwater are really difficult to saw like this. So you may not actually be able to saw the log. So it's more of a tool I use, mostly for getting to and from rivers, and maybe on the river just cleaning up a log to get a raft by. So again, this is the Silky. I really like this one. I'll put a link in the notes about which one I like, their website. And if you have any feedback or questions or comments or a better saw or a better tool, something to use on the river, please let me know. The point of this show is to stir some conversation. So look at the comments down below, leave a comment. I'd be happy to get back to you again with questions or something that you have to add to the conversation. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.